This conference will now be recorded. There this input method will read, by default will read only strings, only integers it will read. So in Linux platform, you have to specify str of input while for reading strings. Okay, that is over. Now, now we will see small, just a actually I explained this one for comparing. Instead of comparing static values, here we are trying to comparing every time static values. Now, instead of that, I want to compare two different. I want to compare values by dynamically. So for that reason, I'm going to take in new values. So here I want to read two different values from user. So for that I'm reading two values here. Num1 is equal to, I'm going to reading input value, I mean integer values now. So for that I will use int of. Int is the method. Int is the method. It will convert. It will convert something value from string to integer. For your clarity, I will show you here. So here you can observe that. So if I will specify something value int of. So here I'm specifying 2. Now 2 existed in string format now. So for this integer method, I'm passing integer value that is true. Now we can observe what will happen. So here I'm assigning to one variable a is equal to. So now we can check type of a. Type of a. Now that is integer. Same way, this input method will consider if we will pass floating value 12.34 I am giving. 12.34 I am giving. So it will convert 12. Even if you are passing strings, the strings to input method, that one will convert in numbers as a integer. If I will specify, character, in this case, what will happen, guys? You just observe inside your system, then let me. If I will pass int of c, in that case, what it will return? Is it will convert C from characters alphabets to numerics, or is it will throw error? Don't assume. You just try to your system, then then tell me. If I will specify int of a single character, in that case, what you will get? If I will specify int of a 2, then it is returning 2. Okay, I got 2 responses. Then what about others? Prasanna and Sunita says will get error. Then what about others? Ours is error. You will get error only because because this int method won't convert this character as a string. Same way, str also we have. Str is also a method. For this str, if you will forward integer, what will happen, guys? If I will forward, if I will forward str of 2, then in that case, what will happen? Is that str method will convert that number to string, or is it will throw error? It will convert. It will convert. It will convert that number. I mean, actually here I'm passing integer value. Str of integer value I'm passing. So this str method will convert that one from number to string. Even if we will forward str of floating value 56.45 I'm giving. So in this case also, str method will consider exact 56.45 as a string. Same way, float also. Float of I am giving only 3. Even if you will specify a character, even if you will specify a integer character, in that case, float will consider that one as a 3.0. Same way, give me a second. Now I am going to now I am giving float of within quotations I am giving string floating value. In that case also you will get exact value wise. Even if you specify a single integer value inside, that is 67, float of 67. In that case also float will consider 67.0. If you will give float of a character, in that case it won't consider, guys. In that case it won't consider because converting is not possible. float and integer method won't consider ASCII values. They won't consider even in comparison. While explaining logical operators, I told you something, right? A less than something, A less than B. In that case, logical operators will converting those values, will considering ASCII values of those characters for comparison purpose. But here, int and float method won't convert those values from alphabet to ASCII values. So you have to remember that. So here I'm going to reading. Actually, I'm going to performing, uh, going to comparing two numbers. So for that, I have to read two numbers here. So int of input, int of input. So for user, I want to display a message that is enter a number, enter a number. So when we will execute this program, first this input method will call. So input of enter a message. So here you have a message inside input method, so that this one will display message like exact message which we specified inside input method, that is enter a number. Even colon also it will display. Then this input method, after printing this message, this input method will wait for user's value. Then after getting value from user, then this value will be assigned to int method. So int method will convert that coming string value to integer, then it will assign to num1. Then same way we have to read num2 also. Same way I have to read number 2 also. So for that, I'm going to defining initializing one more variable. Num is equal to int of num is equal to int of enter enter a number. Again I'm giving message enter a number. So we have to close int method also. So here we have two methods, right? So input is existed inside int, so that we have to close two brackets. That is over. Now I have to compare values. Now I'm getting dynamic values. Actually yesterday session, I kept static values here. If 14 less than 6, those are the static values, fixed values. Instead of that, I'm going to taking dynamic values now. So when I execute this program, each and every time this program will ask values, will ask to user enter a value and enter a value. Then after reading these values, now I have to compare. So that is num1 less than num2. So here I'm going to writing a condition. If num1 lesser than 2 num2, in that case here I want to show a inside. So after condition we have to specify colon, guys. That is mandatory, because in Python there is no flower bases. Remember that. Instead of using flower bases, we are going to using colon. Then for keeping statements inside block, we have to follow indentation concept we are going to following. So you already know what is the default indentation space and everything. So here I am going to printing a message that is num2 is big. I want to show you a message that is num2 is big. Here we are trying to saying that is num1 is lesser than num2. If this condition is true, I have to display num2, right? Num2 I want to display num2. That means number 2 is number 2 is, I want to show number 2 is big. Number 2 is big, I want to show. That is over. If in case if that condition is false, that means if number 1 is not equal to number 2, it's not lesser than to num2, in that case the condition will become false. So that we have to use else colon print of num2, sorry, num1. I want to print value inside num1, then that is big. So here I am trying to printing num2 value, which is entered by you, which is value from user. Give me a second. Sorry for that. So here I'm going to printing num2 value. Then after that num2 value I want to print is big. That means if this condition is true in the sense here I'm going to display num2 is the bigger. Then if condition is false, that means num1 is the bigger, so that I'm printing num1 comma is big. Just I'm going to saving this file. So for that I specified a folder that is I mean in D drive I'm going to saving all these files. You please try to save somewhere. Then condition 2 I'm giving. So this is example for conditional statement. Second example in conditional statement, so that I specified cond2. Now I want to save this one. For that we have a option run module, or else we have a shortcut key that is F5. So here it is asking, so first input method is going to executing. So this input method will print this message, then this input method will wait for user's input. So you just observe, so here cursor is still blinking. That means here we have to enter something value, that is 34 I am giving. Then when I press enter, this input method existed inside int, so that the coming value, this int method will read that coming value, then it will convert from string to integer, then it will assign to num1. So you just see here. Then it is asking assignment is over. Now inside num1 right now I have a value that is 34. Then in second statement, because second statement again input method is calling. So it mean this input method trying to printing a message, then it is waiting for user's value. I'm giving 78. Then it is also existed, I mean this 78 also stored inside num2. Then here we have a logic, that is if num1 lesser than num2, that means 34 lesser than 38, condition is true. So that condition is true, so that here we are going to printing a message. I mean condition is true, in that case execution will enter inside if block, it will print num2 is big. So it won't consider else condition, guys, because execution will be stopped here only, because inside print there is no inside if block there is no statement. I hope it is clear now how to read values. Please reply me here, then we will see example for nested if else. Okay, thank you Prasanna. Okay, that's fine. Now we will see another one, that is nested if else. Nested if statement we will see. So nested if in the sense I mean we have to write if inside if, we'll call that is a nested if statement. So for that I will give small example, then you will get more clarity. So I'm going to commenting this one. So here we will see small example for nested if statement. That means nested if in the sense if inside if we will call nested if. So here I'm going to specifying if a condition is true, if so how can I specify, I want to know a number, I mean I will give small, I will take small example, then that is easy for me. So I want to know, first I want to read a number from user, I want to read a number from user. So I mean I want to implement a logic, write a write a program to find mm, to find write a program to find a real number is divisible with 2 and 5. Finding write a program to find divisible with, write a program to find a given number is divisible with uh, 2 and 5, 2 and 5. So here I have a small statement, guys, that is write a program to find a given number is divisible with 2 and 5. So uh, can you mention which number will divisible by with 2 and 5, guys? Can you specify number which is divisible with 2 and 5? Absolutely, that is 10. 10 will 10, I mean 10 is divisible with 2 and 5. Even 20 is also divisible, 30 also, 40 also. So I want to print, I mean I want to read a number from user, then I want to print if the is that number will divisible with 2 and 5. If that number will divisible with 2 and 5, then I want to print true, otherwise I want to print false. For that case I'm going to using nested if statement, guys. To solve these program, I will go with nested if statement. So here I have two different conditions, right? I want to check users number, I mean we want to check users number is divisible with 2 or not. If it is divisible with 2, then I have to check one more condition: is that number I mean is that number is divisible with 5 or not. If these two conditions is satisfied, then only I want to print true. Otherwise, if any one of the condition is false, I want to print false. So for that case, first I'm going to reading a number from user. Again, num is equal to num is equal to. So we are going to reading integer number, right? So that int of input int of input. So here I'm going to displaying a message. Number enter a number. Just I'm showing a message for users clarity purpose. Then after reading the number, we have to check is that number is divisible with 2 or not first. So that I'm going to writing condition. How can we check is that number is divisible with 2 or not? We are going to implementing now condition statements, right? So now I want to check if the number, that means number that you mean inside num we have a user's value, we have to check it. Now here you please tell me divisible in the sense which operator I need to use here. I mean which operator I have to use, division or modulo operator? If that number is divisible with 2 2 and 5, for that case which operators we have to use here? Slash or 5, I mean slash or modulo. Absolutely, Subhan. We have to use modulo because we have to compare. I mean, we have to consider reminders, guys. We have to consider reminders. We will consider that number is divisible with 2, 2 and 5. So we won't consider quotient, guys. If you use slash, that means it will consider quotient, guys. So that we have to use number modulo. Number is what? First one is 2. We have to check 2. If this condition is true, that means if you will get result, if that number will divisible by 2, then we have to get result what? 0. We have to divide that users number with 2, then if you will get result reminder is 0, I mean this reminder, this value, these operations result is equal to 0, then I have to check one more condition. Then we have to check one more condition. What is that? Inside if, again I want to check if that condition is true, then I want to check one more condition: is that number is divisible with 5 or not? Further we have to check one more 0, one more check. Then inside if that condition is also true, then I have to print a statement that is true. Otherwise I have to, if any one of these condition is false, if any one of these condition is false, I want to print else, that is print of false. If first condition is true, then second condition, first condition is true, but second condition, the value is not divisible with 5. In that case also we have to print false now. So that I kept else inside if. Then if first condition is only in first condition, from first condition we are getting false, then case Sorry for the inconvenience, I lost internet. Okay, now it is fine, right? So right now I am giving value. Thank you. So while executing this program, I'm giving value 5. So now inside num I have a value 5. So here I'm going to checking 5 modulo 2 double is equal to 0. In that case, if I divide 5 with the 2, what you will get remainder? What is the remainder, guys? Remainder you will get 1, right? 1 double is equal to 0. First condition is false. Then it will go else what? That is, it will print false case. So you just observe. So I'm giving 5 here. I'm printing false. We are getting. Then again I'm going to executing. Again I'm executing number which is divisible with 2. Number which is divisible with 2. So I'm giving 4. So in this case, these 4 will be stored inside num. Then 4 modulo 2 double is equal to 0. Condition is true. 4 will divisible with by 2. So we will get remainder 0. Then that is condition true. Then in second condition, 4 modulo 5 double is equal to 0. In that case, in this case, you will get false case. I mean, in this case, the condition is will fail. So it won't consider if block. It will come to else block. Then it will print false. So just observe. We are getting false. Now in this case, in first case, we are getting false from this condition because first condition becomes fail. Then in second trial, if you will give value 4, in that case I mean false coming from else inside if. Then if I will give value 10, again I'm going to executing. So number which is divisible with 2 and 5. So true we are getting. True we are getting because 10 will divisible with 2 and at the same time it is divisible with 5 also. This is the syntax, I mean general form for nested if statement, guys. If inside if, so inside if we have one more if statement. Even you can specify inside if, again you can specify one more if also. Okay, you can implement same logic by using logical and operators also, guys. Here I have condition inside condition na? Instead of using nested if else, you just go with logical and operators. That is also will give same result to you. In that case, there is no need to write one more else condition, guys. I hope it is clear now how nested if will work. You can able to implement this logic by using logical and operator also. For that, there is no need to write second if. I mean, this if statement is not necessary if you will go with the logical and operator, guys. I hope it is fine to all. Please reply me here, then I will get clarity. Okay. Thank you, Prasanna. Then what about others? Fine. Okay, Radhika is also clear. Bhuvaneshwar is also fine. Okay, now we will see else if ladder. Else if ladder we will see. So else if ladder in the sense, we will see small example for else if ladder. So nested if y is over, then another one is else if ladder. So else if ladder in the sense, I mean else if ladder in the sense to compare more than one condition. To compare more than one condition, then we'll go this else if ladder. To compare more than one condition, we will go to this. We will go to this. To compare more than one condition, we will go to this one. So we will see small example for this. Small example for this, then we will get more clarity. So here I am going to commenting this statement. I mean, I'm going to commenting this one by using multi-line comments. Starts with 3 single quotation, then ends with 3 single quotations. Now we will see example for elif. So mm, example for elif statement. Mm, Example. So actually in day one, in day one I gave small example to you, that is biggest of three numbers. Biggest of three numbers. So in that case we will go with, actually here I did biggest of two numbers. Actually here I give biggest of two numbers now. So for this we are using in general way. For finding same way, for finding biggest of three numbers, to find biggest of three numbers, in that case we will go with this one, guys. So mm, so I will read values from user, static dynamic values I will read. So for that, n1 is equal to, I'm going to reading three different values from user. N1 is equal to int of input of. So here I'm not showing any message. I don't want to show any message to user. For that I specified, int of input, input method with empty input, int of input. Even in second, while reading second message also, I don't want to show any message. Entry is equal to int of input, int of input. So reading three values is over. I'm reading three different values from user, that is n1 is equal to int of input, n2 is equal to int of input, n3 is equal to int of input. So in this case, input method won't display any message. It will just it blinks cursor, so after reading these values, I want to perform comparison. For that we will go with, for comparing three different values, we will go with LC ladder, guys. So LC ladder we will go. So here we have a more than one condition na? So that here I'm going to comparing. If first I want to compare n1 value with n2 and n3, so that if n1 less than n2, that is the one condition. So I want to check n1 is lesser than, n1 it's better to consider greater than. In this condition I want to show n1 is bigger than n2 and n3. For that case I am giving n1 greater than n2 and operator I want to choose and operator, because from other cell here I want to show n1 is bigger than n2 and n3. For that case I want to make these two conditions as a true. In that case only we will consider n1 is bigger than n3, otherwise we can't, guys. That's why I'm using and operator. So I want to, in this condition I want to make n1 as a bigger than n2 and n3. So if any one of these condition is failed, in that case Python interpreter will consider n1 is smaller than n2 and n3. If you are getting false from this condition, in that case interpreter will consider n1 is lesser than n2. So that reason this condition, this greater than operator returns false. If this condition is true, in that case and operator will go second option. I already told you, if first condition will return false, and operator won't consider second condition, because there is no need to check that one. It will go to else part. So here I'm trying to making n1 as a bigger, so that I specified n1 greater than n2. I'm trying to showing n1 is greater than n2 value and n1 is greater than n3 value. So from both conditions I'm trying to showing n1 is the big. If this condition is true, that means if this entire logical and operator will return true, then I want to print n1. I want to show n1 is big. I want to show n1 is big. If this condition is false, now if condition is false, that means n1 is not a bigger. That means n2 or n3, from these two there is a bigger value. So if this condition false, in the sense condition is the false, so n1 is lesser than n2 and n3. So that we have to compare rest two variables. The rest of two variables, those are n2 and n3 only. Because from this first condition we will get a clarity. If this condition execute, if this condition returns true, in that case n2 and n3 are smaller than the n1, so that we are printing n1. If this condition false in the sense n1 is smaller than n2 and n3, so that reason we have to compare these two numbers. Rest of we have to n2 and n3 only, so that we have to compare this one. For this, for writing condition inside else, we have to go with elif, guys. Actually in C programming language we have else if, but in Python you have to use elif. To implement else if ladder, you have to go with elif of. Here what we have to compare rest of the values. Those are n2 and n3. So n2 lesser than n2, sorry, n2 lesser than n3, n2 lesser than n3. I'm going to comparing. Now in this case I'm trying to making n3 as a big, so that what I need to print here. So you just assume yourself. So here, based on my condition, what I need to print inside the elif block, guys? Which value I want to print? N2 and N3. If first condition will returns true, in that case we are printing N1. Now in second condition, I am trying to comparing N2 lesser than N3. In this case, what we need to print? N2 or N3? Absolutely. We have to print N3. N3 is the bigger here. N3, comma, within quotations we have to specify is big. If this second condition is also false, if the second condition also returns false, in that case we have to go with else, because there is no need to check another one, right? There is no need to check. So here we have to print n2 value directly. N2, sorry, you have to specify comma here. N2 is big. N2 is big. You just save this file, run this one. Just run this one, run module. So here my cursor is blinking. Without showing here, it is blinking. That means in this input method there is no string, so that this input method didn't print anything. This input method will wait for user's input, so that I have to give 45. So second time also input method will wait for user's value. I'm giving 78. In third case I'm giving 456. So 456 is big. Again I will execute this. Run module. In this case, I mean in from the based on these values, first condition will become false, guys, because 45 lesser than 78. 45 lesser than 78. So from first condition we are getting false, so that AND operator won't consider second one. It will go to here. So here n2 lesser than n3 we are comparing. N3 value is the 78, n2 value is the 78, n3 value is the 456. So condition is true, so that it will print n3 is big. Now I am going to giving another value n2. So I am going to giving first one as the 7894. I am giving, then I am giving 78, then I am giving 462. I am giving. In this case 4894 is big. So in this case 4 here we are going to comparing 4894 is lesser than 78. Condition is true. I mean n1 is the value big. Then 4894 is greater than 462. So this condition is true, so that it will print n1 is big. This is the example for else if ladder. So while going to implementing else if ladder, you have to use keyword elif, elif. So you already know if is also a keyword, elif is also a keyword, else is also a keyword. But we will use these keywords to while implementing conditional statements. I hope it is clear, right? Please reply me here. Yes, Subhan. Prasanna is also is clear. Thank you. Then what about others? Radhika is fine. Sai Kumar is also fine. Sunita Reddy, fine. Mani is also fine. Monica is also. Sunita. Okay, that is fine. Now conditional statements is over. Now we have another conditional statement, that is, another one. or another one is looping or iterative statements. So we will see looping or iterative statements. Looping or iterative statements. So what is the meaning of looping or iterative guys? What is the meaning of looping or iterative statements? General meaning. You just tell me general meaning. Absolutely, Sunita. That is repetitive. Repetitive. Doing same task. Doing same task again and again. I mean, it will do same task again and again. For that, we have to specify it. I mean, how many times you have to do that task. So actually, I want to do a task 10 times. For that, I will use loop statement. So I want to do same task 10 times. For that case, I will go with looping. For doing same task again and again, we will go with looping, or else we will say that is repetitive. To repeat a statement more than once. To repeat a statement, or else we will specify like this also. To repeat a statement more than once. To repeat a statement more than once. Then we will go with this looping or iterative statement, guys. So in Python programming, as per C, we have three different types of looping statements, right? One is the for loop, while, and do while. But in Python, we have for that we have. So for that in Python we have two iterative statements. So for that we have two iterative statements. So actually in as per C or Java, C++, we have three different iterative statements. But in Python we have only two, guys. So those are for and while only. There is no do while. It's not existed. Absolutely, that is for and while only. Same from person also. Yes, thank you. So in Python we have for and while only. So first we will see for statement. So I mean both statements will do same repetition, but there is a little bit difference. I mean small difference with, I mean syntax is different, guys. So we will see for syntax. So to learn this part we have to know one important function. I mean here I will write syntax. So how we will write this for? I will specify syntax here. I will specify syntax, guys, that is syntax. So coming to syntax, so to implement for in Python, you have to know like this. You have to write for like this. For I in range. You have to use range method here. Range colon inside we have to print I value. So we have to print I value. Just I'm giving statement. I mean syntax, guys. Don't worry about that. I will show you example what range method will do, and then what is the in, what is the I, and everything. So this is the general form of for statement in Python. So before going to this part, you have to know this range method. Without knowing this range method, you can't understand for loop what it does. So for that, you just come back to IDLE. You just come back to IDLE. Here you can observe. So actually this range method. I mean first you have to know range is the method. It will, I mean range is, I mean so instead of explaining theory, it's better to give example, then you will get more clarity. So here I'm going to giving range is the method. For this method we will pass three different parameters, guys. First we will see minimum value. First I'm going to giving value 10, range of 10, in this case when I specify like this. So here I specified parameter is only one. I mean for this range I have I specified only one value, but while after executing this interpreter displaying something range of 0 comma 10. In that case you have to assume range method, I mean range of single parameter. In that case Python interpreter will consider 0 as the beginning value 10 minus 1 position is the ending value. 10 minus 1 is the ending value. I will give example. For here I is the variable. For is a keyword. For followed by I. That means followed by in the sense there is a space between for and I. So here this is the variable, guys. So where I'm giving where in the sense variable name, where in is the membership operator. So here we are specifying range of range of range of 5 I'm giving. Just see this range of 5. So here also actually here also we have to specify colon, guys. Range of 5 colon we have to specify. So because in Python there is no flower basis. Over. Now I'm going to printing I value from each and in each and every iteration. Each and every iteration we are getting something value from range. Then this in operator will assign to one variable, that is var now. So var, just here iterating variable is var. So like as per C programming we will write for of I is equal to 0 comma I less than is equal to something n comma semicolon I plus plus will specify. I plus plus will specify, but in Python there is no need to specify anything. So in this range method will consider everything. We will specify range of single parameter. In this case this range method will consider beginning position. At the same time this range method will consider increment operators also, if we will pass only single parameter. In this case what is the beginning value, guys? By default what is the beginning value? Here you can observe, if I here I gave range of 10. In this case range will consider 0 comma 10. That means beginning value is by default beginning value for this range is 0, ending value is given value minus 1. So here I gave 5, right? So 5 minus 1, that means this loop will be iterate 5 times, but beginning value is 0. 0 1 2 3 4. That means by default this range method will consider n minus 1 position. That means given value minus 1 position. It will specify range of 1, range of single value. In that case range method will consider 0 as the default beginning value, then 1 is the default increment value. Now I'm going to giving range of two parameters for I in range of 2 comma, actually here loop starting from 0, right? Now I don't want to start, I don't want to start loop iteration from 0. I want to start loop iteration from 1. Then I'm giving 5. In this case loop in this case just assume how many times this loop will iterate, guys. Now iterating variable is the I. So in this case how many times this loop will be iterate? In previous example 0 is the beginning value in that range. By default 0 is the beginning value, so that loop iterated 5 times, 1 2 3 4 5. Now here I'm giving beginning value is the 1. Range of two parameters giving, range of two parameters I'm giving. In this case range method will consider first one as the beginning value and second one is the ending value. So 1 is the beginning value, 5 minus 1 is the ending value. You just see here 1 2 3 4 we are getting. That means this loop will be iterate 4 times only. Just imagine second value in this here range method will consider ending value is minus 1 position, given value minus 1 position. If you will give range of single parameter, in that case it will consider that value 5 as a ending. That means beginning value and incremented value is it will take by default. So here I am giving range of two parameters. In this case range method will consider first parameter as a beginning value, second parameter as a ending value, then there is no third parameter. That means third parameter will be incremented. By default it will assume incremented value by 1. Now we will see range of 3. So for I in range of I am going to giving 2 comma 10 comma 2 I am giving. You just observe that result, then then answer to me. Now you just observe that result, then tell me what's happening here. Now I am calling range of three parameters. Range of single parameter is different. In this case range method will consider 0 as the beginning, 1 as the incremented value. In second case I am giving range of two parameters. In this case first parameter will be considered as the beginning value, second value is the ending value, then 1 is the by default incremented value. Now here I am giving range of 3. In this case in this case Python, range will consider 2 as a beginning value, that means loop iteration value. 10 is a ending value, that means 10 minus 1 position it will consider. Then here I specified 2. In previous example, third parameter, by default third parameter is the 1. When terms come to when we'll going to explain, when we'll go to functions, then I will explain these default parameters concept, guys. Right now we just assume range will take minimum 1 parameter, maximum 3 parameters. So here I'm giving 2 now, so that this is the incremented value. In first iteration, range will give 2, range will assign to value 2 to I, then we are printing. In second iteration, range method will consider third one, because first time we are passing 2 now, then second iteration we have to increase value by 2, that means 2 will become 4, so that in second iteration you will get 4. In third iteration 4 will become 6, because here I specified third parameter as a 2. Then in fourth iteration you will get 6 plus 2, that is 8. In fifth iteration you will get 8 plus 10. So here condition we have, right? Condition is up to 9 only, so that it will false. You will get 2 4 6 8. That means here you have to observe, here you are getting even numbers wise. We will go this range of 3 parameters procedure to print even and odd numbers. Now now here we are getting even numbers now. Same way, now I want to print odd numbers from 1 to 10. For that case, how can I alter my loop statement here? If I give range of 2 comma 10 comma 2, in that case we are getting 2 4 6 8 even numbers we are getting from 1 to 10. Now I want to print even numbers from 1 to 10, odd numbers from 1 to 10. For that case, how I pass, how I pass values. Now I want to print odd numbers. Absolutely, we have to start, iteration from odd. So here you can observe, so here I specified even number now, so that reason we are printing even numbers. Now I want to print odd series. For that case we have to start iteration from odd for j in range of 1 comma 10 comma, so incremented value is 2. Incremented value is 2, we are specifying. Now print of j we are giving. Now you just observe 1 3 5 7 9, 1 3 5 7 9. Now I want to print values in reverse order. For that case, how can you alter range method, guys? Now I want to print values from 10 to 1. For that case, how can you alter range of parameters? I want to print numbers from 10 to 1. In reverse order I want to print. For that case, how can you alter your for i in range of, just I am printing I. Now in this case, how can you alter? I want to print numbers from 10 to 1. In that case, what is the beginning value for this? What is the iteration value for this range? From where we have to start? I want to print numbers from 10 to 1. For that case, what is the beginning value, guys? Absolutely, for that beginning value is the 10. I want to print numbers from 10. Then what is the ending value? I want to print up to 1 na? I want to print up to 1. Up to 1 in the sense 1 or 0. I want to print numbers from 10 to 1. In that case, what I have to specify? 1 or 0. 1 or 0. I have to print 1 also, so that 0 comma. Then what's the third parameter? So what we have to specify here? I want to print numbers from 10 to 1. Now tell me, what is the third parameter? If I will specify 2 as a parameter, then it will increase 10 by 2. In second iteration you will get 12 na? If I will specify 1, in second iteration 10 will become 11. We have to decrease that value. 10 by 1 we have to decrease. Absolutely, we have to specify minus 1. In first iteration we are getting 10. In the sense, in second iteration we have to get 9. 9 means what we need to do? We have to decrease that 10 value by 1. So that we have to specify minus 1 here. So I already here I'm specifying third parameter. Third parameter is, I mean, specifies increment or decrement, number of steps increment, number of steps in decrement. So here I'm giving, in this case I'm giving 2, so that it will increase value by 2. Here I'm giving negative value, in the sense it is trying to decrease that value. So you can observe 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm printing value in reverse order. So up to 1 I consider, I want to consider, so that I specified beginning value is the 10, ending value is 0. In that case it will consider 1 as the exact value, then minus 1 is the decrement value. I hope it is clear now. Please respond if you have any issue with these iterative statements. Actually in while statement there is no, I mean, there is no change, guys. Whatever the syntax you are following in C programming, you have to follow same thing in here also. So for while there is no change, I mean, for while statement there is no change with syntax, guys. We have to follow as it is. So we have to initialize the value I is equal to, we have to initialize, that is 0. Then we have to write while of condition, while of I less than or is equal to 10, condition we are writing, then colon, we will print I value. So here we are trying to showing I is lesser than, that means I beginning value is 0. In first case condition is true, so that each and every iteration I want to increase I value by 1 after printing, so that I will use I is equal to 1. That's it, guys. There is no change. We have to initialize the value, then we have to write while of this condition, then we have to print value, then we have to increase this value. For your clarity I will show you how it will work. So first we have to initialize the value, like I is equal to 1 I am giving. Initialization is done. Now I want to write while of I less than or is equal to, I mean, I want to iterate this loop up to 10 times, so that less than or is equal to I am giving up to 10 times I want to iterate, so that 10 colon I want to print I value. Since this condition is true, I want to print I value. So after printing that value, again this statement will go to while of condition na? So in second condition also I value is 1. So in that case this condition will go infinite loop, so that we have to increase the I value by 1. Increase I value is equal to 1. In that case, I mean, after printing this one value I will become 2. So 2 lesser than is equal to 10, condition is true, again it will print 2. Then in second iteration I value becomes 3. So this loop it be, I mean, I value will be iterate, I mean, increase up to 10. So if 10 less than or is equal to 10, then condition is true. Then when 10, I mean, I value will becomes 11, in that case this while condition, I mean, this less than or is equal to will returns false to while. Now we can just observe 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. When I value becomes 11, then 11 less than or is equal to 10, the here condition is false, so that while stops printing these values. So there is no change with while condition, guys. This is the common for all languages. Initialization, condition, while of condition, printing I value, then increase initialization value by 1, I mean, increase or decrease initialization value. I hope it is clear now. Iterative statements. You please respond me here. If you have any issue with this, you please ask me. I will try to resolve you. So Subhan is clear, Pavaneshwari is clear, Swarna is also clear, Vijay Durga is also fine.